Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to one and all our participants and fellow IPs. On behalf of IPNet East Region, I extend a warm welcome to all of you in today's webinar titled Transforming Forensic Accounting and Audits in Insolvency. We are truly honored to have with us our keynote address speaker, Dr. Ashish Makhija, sir, whose presence and deep insights have always helped us on all subjects, and we sincerely appreciate it, sir. We are equally privileged to welcome our distinguished speaker, Mr. Anand Jagir, as a lead speaker, and his participation adds immense value to our session. As many of you are aware, this marks the 42nd webinar in the continuing series of knowledge sharing sessions hosted under the banner of IPNet, which is the National Network for Insolvency Professionals. Without further much ado, it's now my pleasure to invite Mr. Rajiv Kumar Agarwal, sir, member of the National Executive Committee and Regional Head of IPNet East, to deliver the formal welcome address.
Thank you, Namrata. Good evening, everyone. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the 42nd edition of the IPNet webinar, themed Transforming Forensic Accounting and Audits in Insolvency. We are truly privileged to be joined today by two distinguished professionals, Mr. Ashish Makhija, Advocate and President of IPNet, who will deliver the keynote address, and Mr. Anand Jagir, who joins us as our lead speaker. A heartfelt note of appreciation to Sri Ashish Makhija, President of IPNet, whose visionary leadership continues to inspire and strengthen us, driving professional community. For those who are not yet member of IPNet, we warmly invite you to join this dynamic network. The membership link has been shared in the chat. We look forward to welcoming you on board. Over the years, IPNet has evolved into a robust knowledge sharing ecosystem for insolvency professionals across India. Our mission is to empower IPs through insightful learning forums, including expert-led webinars, study groups, and hands-on workshops. Practical guidance to navigate complex IB scenarios. A member-exclusive digital portal offering a wealth of resources and support. To our existing members, thank you for your trust and continued engagement. To our first-time attendees, a warm welcome. We encourage you to explore all the IPNet has to offer. Thank you once again for being part of today's event. Let's now embark on an engaging and enriching sessions together. Thank you. Thank you. Now, Namrata, continue.
Yep. Thank you so much, sir. I shall now play a short video showcasing IPNet's purpose, initiatives, and contribution.
In the fast-evolving world of insolvency and bankruptcy, professionals need more than just knowledge. They need a strong network, continuous support, and a unified voice. As the challenges of the insolvency profession grow, so does the need for a platform where professionals can come together, share their experiences, and find collective solutions. That's why IPNet was formed. Promoted by Transition, IPNet is more than just a network. It's a mission to unite insolvency professionals across India, empowering them with the tools, knowledge, strong leadership, and community support they need to excel. Our purpose is simple: to create a cohesive community of insolvency professionals that stands strong together, advocates for their interests, and drives excellence in every aspect of the profession. At IPNet, we believe in continuous learning and collaboration. Our activities are designed to ensure that every member stays ahead in their field, from specialized study groups that dive deep into critical topics like CIRP, compliances, and many more, to webinars and workshops that bring the latest insights right to your screen. IPNet is your gateway to professional growth. Backed by Transition, a leader in insolvency training and resources, IPNet is committed to promoting the interests of insolvency professionals. Our goal is to ensure that every IP, no matter where they are, has access to the best resources, strong leadership, and a network that truly understands their needs. Join us in this mission to build a stronger, smarter, and more connected community of insolvency professionals. Together, we can overcome challenges, shape the future of the profession, and make a lasting impact. IPNet, National Network for Insolvency Professionals in India.
As we commence today's program, I would request our very own IP Babita Jain ma'am to kindly introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Ashish Makhija sir, the president of IP Net. And before that, I request all participants kindly on your videos. We are entering into a fantastic seminar today.
Since I take privilege to introduce our profound chief guest, Advocate Ashish Mahija. The Advocate Ashish Makhija is a distinguished legal professional and a legal authority in corporate and insolvency law in India. He is practicing as an advocate before Honorable Supreme Court, various high courts, National Company Law Tribunal, and National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. Over 3 decades of experience in litigation and advisory service. Mr. Makhija is widely respected in his expertise in insolvency and bankruptcy matters, company law, contract law, commercial litigation. He is represented by keyhold speakers, financial creditors, operational creditors, resolution professional, and corporate debtors in complex insolvency resolution and liquidation matters. He is also accomplished author and having written authoritative books on IBC, contract law, company law, and which are widely used by the professionals and regulators and students across the country. Apart from his legal practice, Mr. Makhija is acclaimed trainer and speaker, having conducted various training sessions for insolvency professionals, judicial officers, chartered accountants, and company secretaries under the aegis of IBPI, ICAI, and ICCI, and various judicial academies. His sessions are known for their clarity, depth, and practical relevance. He is currently serving as the president of IPNet and a respective national forum of insolvency professionals, where he plays a pivotal role in thought leadership, knowledge dissemination, and professional networking. Mr. Makhija's visionary leadership, combined with his legal erudition and commitment to the rule of law, continues to inspire and shape the professional community in evolving the landscape of insolvency jurisprudence in India. Thank you, Dr. I request Namita ji to invite our chief, Dr. Makhija sir, to have a address.
Yeah,
Makhija
absolutely.
sir,
I think I don't need an invitation.
case law, intelligence and insolvency ecosystem. Sir, please.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I think we should avoid these kind of elaborate introductions because probably I think everyone we are aware about each other also. I think Mr. Anand Jangid, who is the main speaker, lead speaker, I think he needs to be introduced because he's coming with us for the first time and he's a wonderful speaker. Friends, please mark my words. Now, friends, I'll just take not more than 5-10 minutes because I think everyone is waiting for him to, him to speak, and we want to hear from him. And coming from somebody like him, who is a very, very technical expert, very strong expert in technical side, I think forensic audits and particularly transaction audit, you may call by any name, but finding out, avoidance transactions, finding out assets, how to find out, I think he will tell you very great tips today. Now, friends, as far as I will just, restrict myself to the case law intelligence. At the end of the day, friends, what is the backbone of IBC? The backbone of IBC is nothing but the case laws. That is the spine of the entire, IBC. IBC, I always call it is a living law. It breathes, it evolves, and it transforms with every judicial pronouncement. Can we just stick to the reading of the law and the rules and regulation and can say, oh, we have got perfect knowledge? The answer is no, my dear friends. Unless we keep ourselves updated from the judgments. Now, how many judgments are there? Any guesswork? We have got 35,000 judgments on IBC so far. 721 to be exact of Supreme Court. Then there are high courts. Then there are NCLAT, almost around 3,000 judgments. And then, of course, the rest of them are NCLT, orders and judgments. And every judgment is a learning experience for everyone, right? But unless we use case law intelligence, this is the word which I want to introduce, my dear friends, today to you, case law intelligence. Unless you intelligently bifurcate the case laws or read, I think we will be lost. So therefore, we need really to use those tools actually which are available. So what happens is that IBC is a principle-based law. It is not prescriptive. It is not only prescriptive, it is principle-based. What do you mean by principle-based? That means interpretation is driven by tribunals. Whether NCLT, whether NCLAT, High Court or Supreme Court, all interpretations. You know that many interpretations have changed. There are contradictory interpretations also. But how do we come across? Now let us take an example. I was in one seminar right now of triple IPI. I was speaking for almost 4 hours. Somebody asked me a question, sir, whether OTS is considered as a limitation law or not, I mean, is considered as an acknowledgement of debt or not. Now, how will you search? Go to Google, search it. You will find 10 lakhs research results. How do you come out? So therefore, friends, we really need to that kind of a case intelligence. Number one, what kind of keywords should be used? And what kind of database which we are using. So if you are using a closed database, I think that will really, and I gave them a live example just now. And within 2 minutes, we could find out 7 judgments of Supreme Court, 21 judgments of NCLAT on this particular issue. Can you find out, friends? This is the legal intelligence which we have to develop that capability and definitely use those tools. That is very, very important, right? So like it could be claims of the creditors, treatment of creditors, COC decisions, what has happened, valuation could also be there, where decisions would be there, how to find out that. Because there is a frequent divergence between NCLT judgments and sometimes even between NCLAT judgments also. So therefore, as an IP, our efficacy and credibility depends upon how well we understand the judicial trajectory of the court. So where the judgments are taking us, that is very important, my dear friends. Broadly, I think most of us are aware, constitution of COC, very important for RPs. Avoidance transactions, next step. Personal guarantors cases are appearing now. Invocation, whether it is mandatory or not, whether Form B can be treated as an invocation or not. 29 eligibility has been there for such a long time, but still it creates problems. And of course, there are many questions relating to commercial wisdom, which has come to light nowadays. Commercial wisdom. Supreme Court is actually nowadays changing the whole meaning or the gamut of the commercial wisdom. Earlier, they said it is supreme, no judicial activism, no judicial inquiry. Now they say, no, 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 we can always look into commercial wisdom. Not from the commercial point of view, but from the legal point of view. So I think, friends, these are very important. Well, when IPs ignore case laws, they don't read case laws, what will happen? 100% embarrassment. Mark my words. Don't read. Don't update yourself. 100% embarrassment in the courts. You will not be able to guide the COC properly. You will file weak or non-maintainable applications. You will miss procedural safeguards. And lastly, my dear friends, we will all invite disciplinary action. So remember, my dear friends, my words, ignorance of judicial interpretation is no excuse for the lapses. So judicial interpretation will come when you know how to research that. So researching a case law with a fantastic database, I think that is the key. So we are going to, maybe we'll also have a separate webinar on that, how to really do that, but today we are not having that much of time because I think we have a fantastic speaker who is going to speak that. So what is the role of the legal technology? Now, what is the word which is coming? Legal technology. So legal technology will empower you, where you will be able to search, say, you can say section-wise, issue-wise, court-wise, what are the facts, what are the issues, what are the findings, what are the ratios, what is the interpretation, whether the case is affirmed or overturned. And also you can, you see, trace the judicial trend line, how the, like limitation. Please tell me, friends, you're all IPs here. How many judgments of Supreme Court are there on limitation in under IBC? 27. to be exact. 27 to be exact. So that is the trend line. Supposing I map all those 27 judgments, I will know where do I stand, how the things have changed over a period of time. Ups and downs have been there. So mapping also is a kind of a forensic or digital forensic assignment. I think Mr. Jangir will tell you how to map those kind of things also, because the findings are also mapped and then the analysis can be done. So it is also a case analysis, friends. So I would say, my dear friends, at the end, build your case law muscle. You go to gym and build your muscles, isn't it? Which is very important for everyone at every age. So I think we need to build our case law muscles, right? So case law literacy, you must invest in that. Forget about other things. Forget about whether you are on a WhatsApp group or not. Sometimes I find on WhatsApp group very useless information goes on, isn't it? And we spend our lot of time on those groups. Fine, we have to be a part of it. Some information definitely comes from there, but invest in your legal case law literacy, my dear friends. That is what I will typically tell you. Use tools which are give you smart legal insights, and before filing, planning, guiding, check the judicial view. Whenever you make an application, stop there, go to the legal tool, research first, then file the applications. So I think in insolvency ecosystem, friends, you're not simply a practitioner. Remember, you are an officer of the court. And I think you must stay one step before that. So law changes through amendments, friends, but understanding the law changes through judgments. That is very, very important. So case law intelligence, as I mentioned, is the next generation of being informed. Today, I cannot remain aloof in the developments which are taking place, whether in intelligence, whether in artificial intelligence, whether in legal intelligence. I'm a very conservative person, friends, but I'm a technical person. I know that the future is intelligence. I know that after 5 years or even 2 years, not even 5 years, let us say 1 year or 2 year, I will become outdated if I don't adapt or adapt. Rather, adopting, I will say adapt. I think we need to change ourselves, friends. So let's do that. And if we do that, I think become the one of the best and resilient, or I'll say use the word resilient insolvency professionals. Thank you so much. I'll not take too much of time. I just wanted to introduce that in a very brief manner. Thank you so much. I'm also very eager to hear Mr. Jangid on a very, very important subject. Friends, please mark my words. Ask questions, as many questions. Let him complete one of the topics, and he will obviously ask for a lot of questions. So please come out with your questions and ask for clarity. I think we have got such a fantastic person. It's a very rare occasion, so therefore let's make use of it. Thank you so much. Over to you, Namrata.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
sir.
much.
Yeah, I request Babita ma'am to kindly introduce our lead speaker. After this wonderful gratitude, please introduce our lead speaker for the day, Mr. Anand Jadgi. We're all looking forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Namrata. Today's lead speaker, Mr. Anand Janjet, Anand Prakash Janjet. He is a recognized leader in forefront of integrating artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and into the domains of forensic, finance, audit, risk management. As a chartered accountant and certified information system auditor, CISA, Anand combines deep financial knowledge, expertise with cutting-edge technology to drive the transformative impact. Currently, he is serving as the managing partner of AJA and chief change agent at AJA Labs.ai. Anand sir spreads the innovations initiative across India, North America, and Japan. His leadership in these roles reflect the commitment to reshaping and traditional approaches with next generation AI-driven solutions. With a distinguished global career that includes key role in Goldman Sachs, Infosys, Mr. Anand has successfully led the high-impact project digital risk, anti-money laundering, and regulatory transformation. An engaging and insightful speaker, Mr. Anand delivers practical AI playbooks for fraud detection, predictive analysis in finance, autonomous risk management. His sessions are known for simplifying complex technologies and making them actionable for finance and risk professions. Mr. Anand also shares expertise as guest faculty at prestigious institutions like IIM Bangalore, National Forensic Science University. His influence extends to the policy and governance as a member of expert panels of RBI, IRDI, ICI, and ISSCA, where he contributes to shaping future and tech-enabled governance in India and abroad. Over to the Anand sir, kindly guide us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhavita ma'am, and thank you, Ashish ji, for this opportunity. I was actually listening to the whole thing and something very much in line. I would say what sir has done is he has already set the context for me, and thanks you a lot for that. So, friends, a very good afternoon, and as we are in interesting, it's actually a kind of a Saturday afternoon, and it's great to have all of you. The topic which I was actually, preparing for today's discussion and the deliberation, and as Ashish sir rightly said, that we'd like to have it more of a kind of a discussion based and all thing. So the way we have brought it out is what is changing in the forensic accounting and transactional audits in insolvency, how it is evolving. And I have tried to use a kind of a line which is very close to my heart. We call it as like more of a smart tech in the trust games. As IPs, as Mr. Ashish sir mentioned that, you are as IP or officer of the code, and how do we bring the trust, the trust in terms of what's happening, how it is happening, and all the things. Of late, earlier it was a very different thing, but things are now going for a big change. And in this kind of changing environment, how can we leverage smart techs better for all our day-to-day things? And both, this is something which is very interesting because of two reasons, I will tell you. One, there is a change which is happening around us. And there is also a change in expectations which are happening from the stakeholders. Now, both the things create a very interesting environment for change. As we have seen, the whole concept of forensic accounting and transactional audit has evolved over a period of time. How it used to be earlier and how we see it today, there has been a lot of change. But one thing which has not changed is the expectations which are to provide trust that, okay, post that everything has been, we have seen the POFE transactions, we have seen all of the things, what were supposed to be covered has been taken care of. Now, in this scenario, what if I tell you, now this is a question I would like to ask audience, and I would, just monitor the chats if you can just put it up. What if your next, engagement, there is some kind of forensic engineering engagement artifact which is given to you, and that has been prepared by a smart tech AI? Would you trust it? Would you not trust it? What would be your point of view in this? Would you be able to trust a kind of an artifacts which has been shared with you, or you are sharing with the COCs or anything as such? How would you actually revert on this? Anyone? Because the trust factor is something which is very interesting out here. We always says that we would like to trust it, we will not like to trust it. How can we basically work it out? So we have some messages out here. Yeah, trust, but have some, caution. Perfect. Have to go through and apply some human intelligence. HI, yeah, that is also true. A good point. Anything else? Will it be like something which is going to be very easy? Not really, right? We'll be taking it with caution. Okay. It should be duly verified before. Okay, sure. See. Okay, that is a good one. We'll have a human part on that. I would say, let me give you an analogy. Okay. And some of you may not agree with me, but I'm sure this session is getting recorded. And somewhere in 2035, if we all meet again, and you have this session, you will say, Anand, you said that. Imagine you are driving in a car in 2035 from, let's say, Delhi to Jaipur, and you talk to the person next to you, sitting next to you, that, you know what, there used to be time that car used to have steering wheels. If I tell you to imagine something like that today, you would laugh at me. A steering wheel to rahega hi rahega. It is going to be there, all the things. But I'm sure a lot of you have heard that also on Indian roads, we have ADAS cars like on XUV 700 and all of the things. There are cars which are autonomous driving car. They drive on the road without any kind of driver assistant. It is like the same feeling. I don't know how many of you used to have that feeling when we learned how to drive a bicycle or ride a bicycle. Look, ma, no hand. You used to have that kind of feeling, and that feeling was there in ADAS 2, which is allowed in India. But I'm sure just 3 days back, you would have seen the very interesting news that a car from the Tesla factory self-delivered itself to its customer some 250 kilometers away. The car itself drove all the way there and delivered itself to the customer. Now, what I'm trying to bring out here is, many times we think a lot that no, this is not going to happen, this is not going to do. But the future, what we predict, is already there. Let me take a little diversion in my discussion. There is a second question I would like to ask you. I'm sure many of you are health freak. How fast a person can go on a bicycle? How fast, if it is a human-powered bicycle, how fast that person can go? 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers, 60? How fast do you think a human can go? So we have some answer. 50, 30, okay. That's the max you think we can go? I'm from Bangalore, and we have a lot of this cycling, enthusiast out here. And I was talking to some of the people, and you will be shocked to know that the world record of a human-powered cycle is 298 kilometers. And Gauri, you put 60, and this lady is the person who has broke the world record of fastest human on bicycle, 298 kilometers. And her name is Denise. She is the fastest human on bicycle, which is pedal-powered bicycle. No machines, nothing out there. She has been able to break the record. Why did I tell you about this? Is like, why many times we think, no, these are, the future is going to happen. In right now, we have a lot of challenges. We have a lot of deadlines, a lot of challenges. We have to finish a lot of things. How would we do it based on the thing? Smart tech is already out there. I asked you a question that would you believe a forensic engagement artifacts, if it is generated by smart tech AI? You said, yeah, we will be doing a kind of check. When I gave you this example, but what if I tell you, this was already on the Gartner website, that Royal Bank of Canada is already using user-centric automated audit report being issued, where the reports are not actually being touched by humans at all. Now you may say, no, these are going to be challenges. Yeah, there are a lot of systems which goes into building it up. Then, Royal Bank of Canada has a revenue of 56 billion, and they have been actually, toying with the idea. Slowly and steadily, all these transactions are getting into two main areas. One, places where technology can be a big enabler, and I'll show you some of the different relationship on forensic accounting where we have with smart tech. And second one, where it acts as an accelerators. It actually tries to bring out a lot of features and other things which changes the complete way we have imagined forensic accounting and transaction audits. I'm sure you are actually keeping a very interesting view on an exposure draft issued by PCOAB in United States. Now, PCOAB is the cousin of NAFRA, which is one of the regulatory body in US. and they said that why should auditor only do sample check and all things? In transaction audit, we have to anyway check all of the things. But slowly and steadily, that is coming into the regular audits also, where they are saying 100% of the transaction has to be tested. And based on that, an analysis which has to be formed, and then the report has to be issued. Now, when this exposure draft was issued in US, there was a lot of hue and cry and everything. But ultimately, everywhere, there were two meetings which was done by PCOB. They said, today, if I ask you to do that, you should be able to do it much easier because there is technology as well as the methodology available to handle it up. Now, this is changing overall what we see in this domain. But if I ask you, and this is something, a question a lot of people says, Anand, why do we are talking about this today? The reason is you need to do a RCA, a root cause analysis. What has led to smart tech being used in every part of the business and every part of now in the IBC cycle? And I'll show you some example, real case examples and all things to make it easier for you to adapt it both in your day-to-day work as well as with your stakeholders and partners when we are trying to basically use it. And the main reason for all these things is something what we see on the industrial revolution. And when I say industrial revolution, you're saying, okay, we are in insolvency. How does this affect us? It affects us because you will be seeing a lot of things which are happening around us is because of that. This is like kind of the main crux of what has changed in our day-to-day working, which has led to all of these things, what we are seeing happening. And here, friends, I would like you to see that the first industrial revolution, it actually happened something around 1784, mechanization, manufacturing engine and all things. When it came, it impacted a lot of regular processes and how it was being done. From the manual part, it moved to steam power. Then we came in 1870 and the peak of this came in 1934. I'm sure some of you would have seen a movie called The Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin. 1934, beautiful movie. That was all about electrification, mass assembly and all things. 1969 onwards, we are into the automation, electronics and computers things, but they are all different areas. That was more on automation. But somewhere around 2019 onward, we are seeing in every aspect of our work, let it be in risk management, let it be in audit, let it be in forensic accounting, each of the area, what we are seeing is there is a big change coming because of autonomous or digitalization in terms of that. And this is all getting powered by cyber physical systems, which are like intelligent system, robots, which are not real robots, but we call it robotic process automation and all that kind of thing. And also IoTs and other devices. Now, this change leads to a very big change, which is happening in the forensic accounting and audit domain. And you know what is the change it is bringing, friends? The change which is getting is we are seeing a very different type of forensic accounting, which is very much inclined with this areas or this changes what we are seeing. It is actually coming with a more integrated approach with the systems where you are using the transaction processing system. It can be SAP, it can be Oracle, Tally, anything which is there, but it is trying to have a holistic approach, trying to see not just the financial number, but the cross-functional collaboration of what the impact of this would have happened in other places. The third one, a very important areas which we are seeing in forensic accounting is data-driven decision-making. All the kind of analysis, even which is, there is a FAIS standard also of is 410, 420 we have on digital forensic as well as data using data analytics in forensic engagement. What we are seeing is data-driven decision-making so that everything is presented with backups of data of saying that, okay, this is the reason why we are saying the analysis point at these areas. And the fourth one, this is something I have kept it up in a very generic way. technology is making our life much easier by transforming our processes. And here I would like to talk about, I'm not very sure how you would have seen it up, but in my interaction with a lot of IP professionals, there are some interesting issues which we are facing. Areas like attending multiple meetings and having a lot of discussion, minutes of the meetings and all the things. We are seeing cases where you are actually, as Ashish ji rightly said it up, how do we actually leverage technology in legal tech? These are all basically areas. I have some examples also I would like to talk about that. But these are all examples of what we call it as a big transformation, especially on the business processes, which we can do it on. To quote a small thing, I'm sure that some of you are already using solutions like Otter AI or Fireflies for note taking. NLP is one area which has transformed a big, change it has brought in our transcription. You can see right now, I'm just, trying to say some of the point out here. And whatever I'm saying, it is getting transcribed out there. Now, did you see there is a full stop which came automatically? I didn't even ask it to stop the thing, but it knows the pause I'm taking, the way I speak, and all of the things it is doing. Now, this is nothing but a business or technology-enabled business transformation which we are seeing in the field out there. It can be the interviews we conduct, it can be on the meetings we attend and all things. This part makes our life very easy in terms of doing it. And this is the fourth change which has happened. And the last change which we are seeing in this domain of forensic accounting and audit is something very interesting. A culture of experimentation. What do we mean by culture of experimentation? I would like to show you a small screen and I would like to ask you, what do you see out here? Just give me a second. I'm sharing my screen and just let me know when you are able to see the screen. Can you tell me what do you see? Anyone? Or brain? No.
Yeah. These are cancer cells.
Cancer cells, okay. So this is dangerous, huh? I think I have to work on my drawings. Air traffic.
I think it could be Christmas lights or something like that.
No, the good guess, but good guess, I would say.
This is the universe.
Universe. Oh my God. Universe should not be that small. It's much bigger.
It's like a flying traffic.
Okay, flying traffic. Okay, let me.
A network.
It is a network of what? So I think
Satellites, sir. Satellites.
Satellites. These are the
No.
satellites.
Okay, let me zoom it out for you. Slowly and steadily, I'm zooming it out. Can you see this? Anything which you can see? I hope the screen is visible. What if I tell you this is actually a fund trail analysis of an investigation or a forensic, thing, where there were multiple bank accounts and where the money has moved in terms of utilization of the money in the right manner or not? This is actually some multiple, consortium was involved and they had multiple accounts. How the money has been used, misused, or whatever you want to say, which account it has. The red one is all the destination account. Blue one is the origination account. You are seeing the patterns out here. These are one pattern of one of the thing. This is another pattern and all thing. When we do a fund trail or investigation of how the fund has been utilized and all thing, there is to be something which was done using a lot of manual effort and all. This one now is changed totally to use AI and machine learning. I'll be talking about all those things in some time to come. And this gives you a more better insight. And humanly, I may miss out on something if I'm tired and all the thing, but machines, I don't have that kind of problem. So this is the new ways people are now using. And, just I'll tell you something. To make this up, it hardly takes you, 2 hours with the tools which are there right now in the, areas of work. This is hardly takes 2 hours for you to have a kind of a complete network of how the money has moved from different places, how it has been done, what is the pattern. Is there something kind of a thing which is not, coming under any of the POFE transaction, or does it require any more investigations in terms of deep dive and all that kind of thing? All of that things you can actually see. You can see very interesting patterns also. This pattern, the money has come from this account and multiple transaction, the money has gone to from this person to this and finally to that. Those kind of patterns which are coming. Humanly, have you noticed we are, there's a kind of a saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I could write a 300 pages analysis of this, or I can actually put this as an exhibit showing each of these areas and all the thing and then take it there. This is how, the smart tech, or what we call it as use of all this new age tech, is changing the world of forensic accounting and audit. I hope you got my point. So let me go back to my presentation. I was just telling you, this is something which is now coming back and telling us, that you can now have a culture of experimentation where, yes, we have to deal with the legal requirement, but can we actually experiment and get a better bang for the bucks? Can we actually get more insights which can help us to solve the case? Because ultimately resolution is the main objective. So how can we resolve it up and get into that? These 5 areas are now how we are seeing the changes which are happening into that one. And the key challenges which organizations are trying to overcome are basically have to be imagined again. When we have a case in insolvency, there are a lot of different stakeholders involved, lot of different information. And have you noticed one of the key problem you face is voluminous transaction, a huge amount of transaction. Second, we have a big issue in terms of improper data. The data is never proper because there had been some kind of mismanagement. That's why it is out there. The third one we always face is what we call it as system bottleneck. The systems are not working or there are issues, and then we try to come out with that. And the fourth, I don't have to tell you, you know better than me, the timeline limitations are one of the biggest challenge which you will be always facing it up. Like everything has to happen as of yesterday. If you see these 4 issues, voluminous transaction, improper data, system bottlenecks, and timeline limitation. And if I ask you that, can we basically reimagine how forensic accounting or audit can leverage all of these things? There are a lot to be done. I just gave you 2 examples just now. One, fund trail totally change using the AI technology on Node4.js. And the second one, as I showed you, using natural language processing in all your documentations and all that. Both of them, which I showed you just now, are something which are actually coming from the 4th industrial revolution. Literally, friends, what we have done is we have done what we call it as, do you remember this class 1 or 2, we used to have these pictures of animal, dog, horse, cow, and all thing, and then the name of the thing. And then we used to say, match the following. For this problem statement, what I can use it up. Right now, this is something which is actually being done across the board. People are trying to say, okay, here is the problem statement. How can we actually solve it up? And there are 2 main things which are powering all the discussion which is there. And I would like to share with you as, as IP professionals, as, insolvency professionals, You should know about these two things because these are the main things which are going to impact all of these things in a very different manner. The first one is called digital twin. If you get a chance, there is a paper by Boston Consulting Group on digital twin. What they are talking about is you can create a digital twin of any organization which is there working in terms of with their data to imagine how it is doing its work, what are the kind of things, what are the challenges, what are the issues, what are the anomalies. Everything can be actually looked into. And the data, it is like, I'm sure all of you heard this term multiple times. Data is the new oil. I always say data is the new oil, but we are looking for refinery. Digital twin is that refinery. What kind of insights we can get from the data which can make our job better, easier, and we can actually do it. And forensic accounting, when we are trying to find out anomalies and all the kind of issues, this can be a game changer. And the second thing, which is, I'm sure you've been hearing this term multiple times, this is now a hot word across the board, is called the purple people. They call it purple people. And this is something which is very interesting. How many of you had a formal training in drawing? When I say formal training in drawing, can you draw anything more than that two hills, one sun, and that scenery, or anything more than that? Like, I am sure you can draw something more than that. If you can draw something more than that, then you had a formal training. And when you go for a formal training, they will tell you that there are three base colors from which you can make any color: red, green, blue. Red is the color of business knowledge. Already, as IPs, you have a lot of understanding of business, how it happens, what are the kind of things which is there. But the color blue actually present the technical knowledge. How can I use technology to my benefit so that it's something which I can add value in terms of the thing? And that's the thing they are saying, the rise of the purple people, where we know how to use which technology at what point of time to be able to do that. And here, I would like to tell you that all the tech which we are seeing right now, all the smart tech which you are seeing right now, is not a new thing. All of them are more than, can you see, 50 to 60-year-old. What we use it in generative AI, that is computational linguistic, or we are using in AI pattern recognition. In all of the forensic engagements and audits what we are doing, we'll be using a lot of that thing. But all of the things are very, very old concept. Concept-wise, they're old. They didn't have the ecosystem to be able to basically allow us to use them. So I thought, instead of giving you a kind of a full gyan on that, why don't I actually show you a small 3 to 4 minutes video which talks about what is AI and what is the smart tech from a perspective of forensic. And what is the most interesting thing about this? I have used AI to make this video itself. So there is a site called invideo.io, and I thought, why don't I actually show a video to make sure that you understand about that in 4 to 5 minutes, instead of I saying blah 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 what it is and how we're using it up. I thought it's much better to make a video, and I use it in invideo.io to do it. So let me just quickly show you this 4 minutes video, and then we will try to understand it up. Okay.
Every day, a large portion of the population is at the mercy of a rising technology, yet few actually understand what it is. Artificial intelligence. You know, HAL 9000 and Marvin the paranoid android. Thanks to books and movies, each generation has formed its own fantasy of a world ruled, or at least served, by robots. We've been conditioned to expect flying cars that steer clear of traffic and robotic maids whipping up our weekday dinner. But if the age of AI is here, why don't our lives look more like the Jetsons? Well, for starters, that's a cartoon. And really, if you've ever browsed Netflix movie suggestions or told Alexa to order a pizza, you're probably interacting with artificial intelligence more than you realize. And that's kind of the point. AI is designed so you don't realize there's a computer calling the shots. But that also makes understanding what AI is and what it's not a little complicated. In basic terms, AI is a broad area of computer science that makes machines seem like they have human intelligence. So it's not only programming a computer to drive a car by obeying traffic signals, but it's when that program also learns to exhibit signs of human-like road rage. As intimidating as it may seem, this technology isn't new. Actually, for the past half a century, it's been an idea ahead of its time. The term artificial intelligence was first coined back in 1956 by Dartmouth professor John McCarthy. He called together a group of computer scientists and mathematicians to see if machines could learn like a young child does, using trial and error to develop formal reasoning. The project proposal says they'll figure out how to make machines use language, form abstractions and concepts, solve kinds of problems now reserved for humans, and improve themselves. That was more than 60 years ago. Since then, AI has remained for the most part in university classrooms and super-secret labs, but that's changing. Like all exponential curves, it's hard to tell when a line that's slowly ticking upwards is going to skyrocket. But during the past few years, a couple of factors have led to AI becoming the next big thing. First, huge amounts of data are being created every minute. In fact, 90% of the world's data has been generated in the past 2 years. And now, thanks to advances in processing speeds, computers can actually make sense of all this information more quickly. Because of this, tech giants and venture capitalists have bought into AI and are infusing the market with cash and new applications. Very soon, AI will become a little less artificial and a lot more intelligent. Now the question is, should you brace yourself for yet another Terminator movie live on your city streets? Not exactly. In fact, stop thinking of robots. When it comes to AI, a robot is nothing more than the shell concealing what's actually used to power the technology. That means AI can manifest itself in many different ways. Let's break down the options. First, you have your bots. They're text-based and incredibly powerful, but they have limitations. Ask a weather bot for the forecast, and it will tell you it's partly cloudy with a high of 57. But ask that same bot what time it is in Tokyo, and it'll get a little confused. That's because the bot's creator only programmed it to give you the weather by pulling from a specific data source. Natural language processing makes these bots a bit more sophisticated. When you ask Siri or Cortana where the closest gas station is, it's really just translating your voice into text, feeding it to a search engine, and reading the answer back in human syntax. So in other words, you don't have to speak in code. At the far end of the spectrum is machine learning, and honestly, it's one of the most exciting areas of AI. Like a human, a machine retains information and becomes smarter over time. But unlike a human, it's not susceptible to things like short-term memory loss, information overload, sleep deprivation, and distractions. But how do these machines actually learn? Well, while it may be easy for a human to know the difference between a cat and a dog, for a computer, not so much. You see, when you're only considering physical appearance, the difference between cats and dogs can be a little gray. You can say cats have pointed ears and dogs have floppy ears, but those rules aren't universal. Between tail length, fur texture, and color, there are a lot of options. And that means a lot of tedious rules someone would have to program manually to help a computer spot the difference. But remember, machine learning is about making machines learn like humans. And like any toddler, that means they have to learn by experience. With machine learning, programs analyze thousands of examples to build an algorithm. It then tweaks the algorithm based on if it achieves its goal. Over time, the program actually gets smarter. That's how machines like IBM's Watson can diagnose cancer, compose classical symphonies, or crush Ken Jennings at Jeopardy! Some programs even mimic the way the human brain is structured, complete with neural networks that help humans, and now machines, solve problems. Generations have long imagined the ramifications of AI, visualizing a society where machines seek revenge and wreak havoc on human society. However, the more logical and pressing question is, how will AI affect your job? Will it make your work obsolete? Just like the Industrial Revolution, it's not human versus machine, it's human and machine versus problem. The point is that artificial intelligence helps you accomplish more in less time, taking on the repetitive tasks of your job while you master the strategy and relationships. That way, humans can do what they do best: be human.
Okay, so here you can see this was a kind of a small video which gave a kind of a understanding of what's happening, how it is going down. And the main objective which I wanted to do it is to give you a genesis of AI. AI, as we can figure it out, it is not just one thing. That's the reason a lot of people use the term smart tech. If you are seeing a natural language processing, that is also smart tech. You can see here is natural language processing. It can be translation, speech to text. It can be speech. It can be computer vision. If you're seeing Google Lens and all the thing, and now the new tech areas are there, it can give you a live understanding of what's happening around you. All of them are nothing but what we call it as either of part of that. It can be artificial intelligence. It can be machine learning. We are using it in fraud detection. I'll be talking about that. It is all deep learning. It can be all linked with data science because ultimately all of that things are working on that. Here, I want to tell you something very interesting. I was just thinking that when I presented you how I can order, something called as like make value add for all of you who are actually doing it. Now, if you see, you may be using it, all of these things in some part or other. I give you an example here in the screen just now on, let me just bring it the screen out here. I just told you about, the term which was there, natural language processing. Now, what if I tell you that it can actually be a kind of a big, helpful version to have your meetings transcribed by using all of the things? Firefly, this company just got a $1 billion valuation just because it solves the problem that we are attending so many meetings. Right now, I am attending these things and I have a Firefly of mine, which is actually taking whatever I'm saying. Now, that thing is one part, or it can be in Otter.ai, any of these things. These are all meeting agent, but all of them are working on the same model. Okay, I don't think it is visible. Sorry. Here it is. I think it was not visible. My bad. So I was talking about Firefly, this company which is there, which once you actually subscribe to, it actually does all the transcription services for you, or AI Manager. There are multiple tools like that. What I wanted to just give you an idea that these two are working, both of them are working on the same model as this one. Natural language processing, all of them are working on that. But the way it is working, the way someone has used it is different. This can be one of the way where we see how it is being. But what is the impact it is bringing? It is changing overall how we are doing the problem solving with data versus logic. I'm sure some of you would have heard this term earlier, where we used to define logic, do the programming, define the data source, and based on that, we used to get result. This was the old way of handling things. Then came the machine learning approach, where you have to just give the data set for training. You have to do some machine learning, train the data on the model, and you get a result. Now, what is this machine learning? Because I'm sure you would have heard this term machine learning multiple places. Yes, no, maybe. See, humans can learn. How machine learns? Have you ever thought of that? You are attending a session. At the beginning of my session, I started my deliberation at 4:22, and now it is like 30-40 minutes. I'm sure you've understood something. As human, we learn. Have you ever thought how machine learns? And how we can use it in actually forensic accounting and audit? Now, that is a very interesting thing. One, this is a technology. And this technology is being actually used. What they do is, we try to see a pattern. We try to see a pattern that, okay, in the past cases, whenever there is okay, we have some answer here. Okay. Machine learns from data very much. Yes, it's Alexa one, which we are using Alexa. It also learned. You've seen Alexa at your home. Initially, it may not recognize even the kids and others' voice, but over a period of time, it starts learning it up there. What has happened is machines are learning with data. They see the data. They're not always correct, but they can actually tell you out there. And this machine learning is a real, I would say, personally in forensic accounting and fraud detection, as well as in audit, has become one of the God-sent, thing, because it can literally boil the ocean. It is not a rule-based exception. It works on patterns, so it can give you insight which human would have missed out in dealing with that. And then it works on a training set data, and based on that, the model can actually work it out. I thought I will show you an example of that because it's much better if I can explain you with an example. What you are seeing here is one very interesting example which I would like to tell you. There was a case where, this is a kind of a sanitized version of this one. But what was the case was there was an organization which is a large organization which had gone in insolvency, and there was like a lot of areas where there were some kind of anomalies and all thing. And then they had a kind of a bigger challenge. It was also coming under ASM, which is more of a kind of a surveillance mechanism by the banks, where they wanted to kind of track it up. Usually what happens is what you're seeing on the left-hand side of your screen is a rule-based exceptions. Rule-based exceptions we all know, like variance analysis, like trying to see some issues where junior employees is, I'm just showing you a very crude example of machine learning in T&E expenditure. I'm just giving an example of that. Let me give you the context here. Imagine we have few folks out here. Imagine that we have Atulji here, Atul Pandeyji, Bhupinderji, and Anuradha. All three of them are, employees of a company, and all three of them are senior employees. And Atulji and Anuradhaji and Bhupinderji, all of them traveled from Bangalore to Mumbai for a business trip. They come back, and what we see is Bhupinderji is also at the same designation. Atulji also same designation. Anuradha ma'am is also at the same designation. But their claim they are submitting, Bhupinderji submits a claim for 6 days trip, some 3 lakh rupees. Atulji submit for 3.25 lakhs. But Anuradha ma'am submits a kind of invoices or, the bill of 12 lakh rupees. The moment it happens, they are 3 at the same level on thing. Don't you think we will think that something is not okay? Something is funny. Now, this is all what we call it as the rule-based exceptions, SOPs, things like policies and all things. But there is a challenge. What if I tell you that all 3 of them are into 3 different areas of work? Imagine Bhupinderji is in Amazon Web Services, and Anuradha ma'am is Amazon Prime, and Atulji is in Amazon e-commerce. Now, then you understand the context that all 3 of them are into different roles, different way, and they are dealing with that. There, what you are seeing on the left-hand side is the machine learning model. It's a rule-based model. And the right-hand side is a model called association rule mining. I know it's a little technical, but I'll make it easier for you to understand. How many of you bought something from Amazon? On Amazon, it says people who bought this also bought this. Have you heard this transaction, this kind of concept? You will always see that, right? People who bought this also bought that. Right. Now, what if I tell you that that model is called association rule mining? It is nothing but based on the past historical data, the system is trying to do it. Same algorithm is used out here in the financial number to check past performance. What was the kind of transaction which was there? Based on that, it is saying whether this claim which is submitted is a legit expense claim or a possible fraud. It is a predictive one to some extent. I know that it is not 100% accurate. We, in our transaction audit, we have to go to accuracy and all things. I'll come to that. This is just an example I wanted to tell you. Something which will tell you that if I'm doing a whole transaction review, where are the areas I should be targeting on? If I can do it on all of the area, I will go mad with the kind of volume of transaction which is there. But here it can tell me that I need to focus on only of the possible fraud and deep dive into that and take that forward. This is how machine learning is being used in finding anomalous transactions. And if we want to see some kind of, changes which has happened, the transactions has been done, it can be also looked into. One of the use case which I wanted to explain to you and deal it up. So friends, what I wanted to bring it out to your notice or to your thing, because, I just wanted to give you a brief taste of all things. Here, the experience versus instruction was a kind of thing which was changing. And today people are trying to use all of this things, the smart tech in different part of the transactions which are being done. There has been a lot of use cases and learning. Every day we are seeing some new way. People are trying to see how we can expedite the work, give a better response to our stakeholder, have a better reporting done on this, and ensure it up that when you are actually dealing with any of the stakeholders, you are taking informed decisions. So there are use cases and learning which are there. Some of them I can see it, how people are seeing it in procurement areas, sales and revenue, cost excellence, T&E, loan, you name it up, people have been trying to push into this. Yeah, in the past, the review of claim by Anuradhaji will be amount to the claim. Yes, that is very much true, Anilji. So what it will do is, it will try to see it from the perspective of what are the kind of other claims which Anuradhaji has done in the past. It is possible Anuradhaji is actually working in Amazon Prime. So she has already been actually doing this kind of analysis and, trying to, she has been meeting up, let's say, Shahid Kapoor in Mumbai. She is actually going out and all the film star because she's in the prime. So those kind of things will be actually from a pattern it can come up. So there are a lot of way organizations are using it. IPs are using it in a much effective way to get a kind of better assurance and take that forward. And I will try to say the forensic accounting, the relationship with the smart tech is in 5 categories. I showed you some of the examples here, but more and more importantly, we are seeing that in forensic accounting and audits, we are seeing AI and smart tech as first and foremost and automator. See, there is a kind of a saying that if I have to, there was I read this up, Abraham Lincoln saying that if I have to cut a tree and I have 2 hours, I will spend 1.5 hours to basically sharpen my axe. And that is something which is there. If you are trying to do something, if we can actually set up the systems in a way where we can automate a lot of this part in terms of monitoring, in types of insight, in terms of saying what is happening, it actually makes the life easier in the second part of the thing when we have to actually execute it. I know timeline is always a challenge with IPs. That is something which is there, but there is a timeline because all these techs have become something which we call as low code, no code. This is a new word I learned around 1 year back, and it was something which is stuck with me. Low code, no code is nothing but can I use technology to the best of my ability without. Oh, Anuradha ma'am mentioned Shah Rukh Khan also. Sure, ma'am, Anuradha ma'am. Shah Rukh Khan will be also, one meeting with them will be there. But the point which I was just trying to bring out here is the automator part is one area. The second one is a decider role where it can help you in areas where you can benefit from this and leverage the new insights which are coming. Sometimes we have not even heard about those things. We had a case that we were thinking that the issue or the hunch which was there was on X side, but the actual problem was we have something which we all call it as the profile of the fraudster. When we talk about the profile of the fraudster, they're very smart in terms of if someone has to do a kind of thing, they will do a diversionary tactics. Diversionary is like the real fraud is happening at X, but they will try to guide you toward the Y. So you put all your effort into that. Here, AI is very objective. There's no biasness in AI. It is a number crunching thing. So it says, no, you have to look something at that. I'll give you one very interesting example. For one of the insolvency, review, we were helping the IP. What we found was one very interesting thing that they wanted to see that last 2 years, how much we have spent on our different factories and offices in OPEX and CAPEX, and what was the kind of reason for that and all the things. So instead of doing a manual review, we tried to put it in AI. There is a concept called spend analytics. We took the last 2 years data of all the spend which has happened and what is the benefit, how it has changed and all things. And in the real estate company, we found a lot of anomalies which we were never even aware of that this is all happening. This was already a new thing. So this was a kind of a thing where we play the role of recommender, which is like it's a repetitive areas. It was trying to give us that, no, you are not. It was actually trying to put you on a different side of the things and giving you a recommendation which we can actually take it up. The fourth relationship of forensic accounting, which we have seen, is Illuminator. When I say Illuminator, here it has a lot of context AI, and it can help you in your audit, identify hidden landscape and the areas which is there. I don't know how many of you are using, there is a very interesting concept. I'm just sharing with my screen. You would have heard about all these generative AI tools like ChatGPT, Grok, and other things. How many of you have used perplexity.ai? Anyone here has used perplexity.ai? Some of you, okay, very good. Amazing. So if you have used perplexity. For others, I'm just bringing it up on the screen. This is a new search engine. It gives you a lot of new perspective because right now Ashish sir was talking about the legal part, and this is something which is very interesting. We will always go to Google for search. I would suggest you try this new search engine, which is very interesting because you try to search anything out here, it basically goes to like 30 sites, try to see the kind of a rating of all the 30 sites, then bring back to you that, oh, this is something which can be a new perspective altogether in terms of that. And we have been using it extensively. And not just that, I am sure one of the other things you would be using is, because ChatGPT has become very old. It's like we call them as the Bhishma Pitama of these things. And each of them, each of these tools have their own, pros and cons. Gemini and other things are something which are very important to use. But if you want to do an external research, Grok with deep search and other things can do amazing work. So these are the new tools which are coming up. And today, you will be shocked to know that whenever we get a new engagement, the first thing we do is we create a repository of that in Notebook LM. This is like creating your own GPT. Notebook LM is something where we are creating our own thing. It's an AI research assistant. And, Ashish ji was talking about, have you seen the, different kind of legal part and, case laws, what is happening? I'll give you one very interesting case. Just it will take 5 minutes, I'll tell you. We were actually engaged by one of the law enforcement agencies, which wanted to have their own repository of that. But they had a kind of a thing, they don't wanted to put the data onto the World Wide Web. They are very, very, conservative. They said it has to be in our premises and the server should not connect to the internet at all and all that kind of thing. Now, they had to come out with a very interesting design. I'm sharing with you. The design was something like they started using an open source model from Meta called Llama. They installed Llama onto a standalone system. This is Llama from Meta. If you want to go and check it out and you want to see the capitalization, how much money Meta has spent on Llama 4, it was something around $11 billion. So it's they are giving you open source a $11 billion tool. So this law enforcement agencies just took this thing, put it out there. They took some subscription from India Kanun and Manupatra, and they scrap up all of the data from there, put it on their in-house server. And they put also all the cases which they have filed, all the judgment, everything which is there. And they created their own GPT for the law enforcement agencies in-house. Organizations are taking this power to that hand. I always say this is the way they are knowing that it can be used. At a small level, if you don't want to do something like that, you can create your own GPT on Notebook LM. This is from Google. It is much better. It has something where you can have all of the data relating to that case in one place, and you can actually ask questions on that and take that forward. These are the technologies we are using in forensic, accounting and audit, because huge amount of data is, given to us, and it's like close to impossible for humans to see 100% everything and take it up. Here, technology comes to your, help in terms of sharing all these things, understanding all of the thing, and then we try to get out here in terms of getting the context and Illuminator and take that forward. And last but not least, one of the very interesting relationship which we have with AI is that of evaluator. Evaluator is somewhere where we try to not have too much of context and the stake are high. I can give some what if scenario. What would happen if this will be done? What would happen if this would be done? And here it can be a lot of use. So you can see this 5 different roles are something which are very interesting and which help us in our day-to-day. But friends, there is a challenge, and I will be upfront with you. The challenge is there was a MIT Sloan and Capgemini. They did a very interesting survey. They found that 90% of the leaders, you guys are leaders in your field. There are a lot of leaders you'll be dealing with in forensic accounting. They all talk about, yes, there is an impact of digital data and all thing industry. But very few, less than 15%, they were found that in CXOs are executing a digital strategy. And if you are not doing a digital strategy, you will be still doing the work in the old manner, which is very inefficient, very slow, and it is actually not adding value out there. I still remember something very interesting I wanted to show you, that we need to have a transformational mindset out here. When I say transformation mindset, I don't know how many of you are a big fan of chess, but I'm a big fan. I play a lot of chess and all thing. And when I used to play a lot of chess and all thing, 1997, when human lost to a machine, that was to Deep Blue, Gary Kasparov lost, we used to feel so sad that, oh my God, we humans, we couldn't match up the, machines. But that was in 1997. I hope if you are following chess, Mr. Carlsen lost to Gukesh recently. And one of the reasons he gave, if you have been reading his interview, is that I didn't get time to practice with my AI machine. Earlier, it was human versus machines. Now it is human and machines against a problem statement. Now, this is something which can lead to a great transformational mindset. And if we can actually do that, then we can move the business of assurance, because trust, as I told you in the beginning of my talk, that we need to be, I was talking about, how do we build the trust, the whole use of tech in the trust games. How can we use it more effectively, take it forward, and then add value to that? So that part is something we can move it to the X. And when we say X, X is nothing but, if you remember, we used to have this find the value of X in class 6, 7, because it was unknown. It is something you can bring up a lot of, changes and a lot of approach in terms of dealing with that. So friends, just to summarize, what I wanted to discuss with you here was that forensic accounting and audit is going through a big transformation. Expectations are very high. Second, stakeholders have always a kind of issues in sharing data. We are facing a lot of challenges in terms of what we call it as the timelines. And last but not least, the systems are not taken care of. In this kind of scenario, the way the smart tech can help us is in our day-to-day work as IP. Also, in the area of forensic accounting, if your partners are using all of this tech, which I showed you, starting from graph, starting from tools, making the own GPTs and other things, it would add a lot of value to the engagement and take that forward. And that is something which can actually be a kind of change in terms of dealing with this in the long way. So that's something which I would like you to do that. And the most important thing I would request you is to leverage machine learning. It's now so easy. I always say this thing. 10 years back, if you would have asked me that, Anand, how can we use all these things? I would say, no, it's very tough. See, I'm a chartered accountant and I have been using it in all my engagement. If I can use it, anyone can use it. And I'm sure as IP, you understand business better than me. So these are the things which can actually add a lot of value. So friends, that's all from my side. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I would like to thank Rajiv ji, Ashish ji, and everyone for this opportunity. It was very nice interacting with all of you. And I really believe that these are the area which are going to change and we should be doing it. Any questions, any query, any feedback, feel free to let me know. And Anuradji mentioned Shah Rukh Khan sir. So Shah Rukh Khan sir, ma'am, for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I just joking. Yes.
Yeah, it's a wonderful deliberation.
Thank you, sir.
I don't see there is any question in the chat box, but it is open. If anybody has any question, they can pose
So it
before
was either
Mr.
too good,
Anand.
I was either too good or I was too complicated. Either of them would happen.
If we ask any question, I think we will be
Yeah.
exhibiting our ignorance.
No, sir. I would say I would request you, sir, please do ask, because all these things I was trying to explain you, it took me a lot of time to understand, but it helped us to, do it and talk in the same language as you all guys. So it was something which I wanted to do.
But it is very interesting, sir, and it has given us some kind of introduction to this AL and ML and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, as you said, Mr. Anand, it's right. Maybe this is the first time we as IP or CAs are getting such insightful and knowledge on these things. So we may take some time to grasp it.
No problem.
So there is no questions from anybody, but it is really very wonderful and it is necessary in today's world. Although people have believed that this AI or technology will replace the human being, but it is not at all true. They are only a support to the human being.
Yes, sir.
But of course, it is also true that if people like all human beings are not updated with AI and technology, they will be outdated. So that is the challenge which we have to take. And it's
so Maheshji, one of my mentor gave a very interesting point. Whatever you mentioned, one of my mentors said that Anand, you will be always in forensic accountant will be always in demand, but they will be replaced by forensic accountant who use these tools. They will be also forensic accountant. They'll be the people who will use this tool. That's the only thing which will happen.
At one point, you have mentioned 4 points, sir. One is the systems bottlenecks, timeline limitation, and voluminous transactions. And what is the 4th point, sir?
And the 4th one is incomplete data. In every engagement we go, I'm sure as IP you would have seen this incomplete data. It is like single entry to double entry. You have to make it a sense out of that. You will get only like the banking data or half data. And from that you have to do it. That is one of the biggest challenge which we can overcome using this technology, sir.
Nice one, sir.
Thanks.
Sir, incomplete data we extrapolate data, sir?
No, sir. That is because sir,
sir, we plant our own data like that.
Sir, the problem with that is, sir,
again, it will be a big problem, no, sir?
Agree, sir. So, Srinivas, sir, what you are telling is perfectly right. Because see, what happens, we are presenting it to the court. You are the officers of the court.
Yes, sir.
And the court cannot go for on kind of like which is there. What I was trying to say is, let's say, for example, I'm telling you, I get the financials of a company. I'm just giving an example, and I get the bank statement. Now, actually, you will not get the complete financial. It is matching the end to end. You will always see this kind of challenge, especially in transaction reviews.
Yes, sir.
There, sir, what happens is the matching and all thing we uses technology to do that. Because, same NEFT transaction, which one was the thing, what is the thing? Because at least I know which are the genuine transaction and which are the one I have to report. It makes my life easier, and as well as when you go to the court or you present to the COC, see, my job is to make you look good in front of the COC and the court. Only then I have done my good job. Otherwise, I have not done a good job. That is the rare where we go with all this tech, sir. That is the variance.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It's 100% true.
Yeah, any more question, please? Or any clarification or more better understanding? So I think it's not there, but we are really very much happy and overwhelmed with the ideas and knowledge which we got today. Many of us will, I'm sure, including me, many of us might not have these ideas before. And as Mr. Makhija given in his opening remarks, we had a really wonderful speaker today. And as you said, sir, rightly, 90% of the leaders believe in the digital and only 15% use it. It's true for us also, any professional.
Yes, sir.
It's true, and we have to improve this. That is very much necessary in today's world. Digital twins, purple people, these are all very new terms, and we could really understand very well. Many new tools we could get to know about the search engines and notebook, Llama. It will really be helpful to us. And we really conclude this session. And I hand over to Mrs. Tina Saraswat Pandey for announcing the next webinar. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Today Tina is busy somewhere. I'm on behalf of Tina. I announce my 43rd webinar on 19 July. We will be sharing the topic very soon on behalf of the IP sector. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Babita, ma'am, I'm also requesting you to please present the memento to our speaker of the day today. I'm just presenting it on the screen.
My very much sincere thanks to our extraordinary presentation and insightful and expertise in such a tough topic, complex topic. And we are very grateful for your giving us a precious time. Sir, kindly accept this certificate of appreciation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Really
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just to add to that, sir, thank you so much. And the hard copy shall reach your address.
Thank you.
This is just a screen share. Thank you so much. And
Thank you,
Babita, ma'am, also a special thank you to our moderator. I'm just sharing the memento for sir as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, CM Mahesh Chandra Gupta ji, for your concluding remark and really giving us such a complex topic in a very easy manner and simple terms. We may be able to utilize the same. Thank you, sir. Now I'm presenting the certificate of appreciation memento to Mahesh Chandra Gupta, sir. Kindly, we will kindly accept the same. We will send the original very short.
Thank you. The screen that was shown for in respect of this transaction, what do you call, trial, funds trial, that is extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Really, we enjoyed it.
Yes,
We IPs are unable to track the transactions because of the सारे के सारे documents छुपा लिए जाते हैं.
Right, ma'am. Same बात है.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for this. Thank you for this wonderful session. For the vote of thanks, I now invite IP Rashmi Charia, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. It's a great honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. On behalf of the organizing team and the entire IPNet community, I extend heartfelt gratitude to all who contributed to making today's webinar a grand success. First and foremost, our sincere thanks to the esteemed keynote speaker, Dr. Ashish Makhija, and our distinguished lead speaker, Mr. Anand Jangid. You were too good, sir. Today is the era of AI, and you have literally provoked our thoughts on those same. Your thought-provoking insights and rich perspectives have greatly enriched this platform. We are deeply grateful for the clarity, depth, and inspirations. A special note of gratitude to our Chief Guest and IPNet President, Mr. Ashish Makhija. Sir, your session was also very thought-provoking and enlightening on the case studies. Your visionary leadership continues to be a guiding force for all of us. We also thank Mr. Mahesh Chandra Gupta, today's coordinator, for his structured moderation and valuable observation. Our appreciation to Ms. Namrata Randheri, our articulate anchor, for conducting the session with such grace and energy. You brought an engaging and inclusive spirit to the webinar. A big thank you to the transition team and the technical support team for ensuring a smooth glitch-free experience behind the scenes. And finally, to our valued participants, your enthusiastic presence, thoughtful questions, and active engagement made this session truly meaningful. This event is not just a webinar, but a step forward in our journey of continuous learning, deeper collaboration, and collective excellence in the field of insolvency practice. Thank you all once again.